All right, so just one more time, we're going to use the strap today, blocks, and bolster. And so you can use pillows, belt. I guess Tupperware could substitute as blocks, but this will work just fine. And we will get started. Our first posture is just laying on the back with a support under your head. And so we want the head elevated, but the shoulders on the mat. And again, we might hold some pose a little longer. And so if you want to put on some music in the background, pay attention to, that's great. Otherwise, hopefully there's enough details going on to keep your mind engaged, to keep you present with your body. But the whole idea is to become connected to what you're feeling and allow the nervous system to calm down so the deep tissue can relax. And this can be a very healing practice. So please bear with it and enjoy. You're going to interlock your hands behind your head so your shoulders are open. I'm going to lift your chin just enough so even though your head's up, it's not compressing or on your chest. Close your eyes. Focus on your breath. Breathe in and out through the nose. Then you're going to start, we're going to walk your feet together, place the soles of your feet together and allow the knees to drop open. And you want to be able to let the knees drop open very calmly. So if you need to put a prop under your thigh bones, you can do that. So we've got a mirror here between the arms and the legs. Just allow the body to settle into the earth. Use gravity. Use gravity to engage the posture. You're going to take your right knee up, nice and slow. So your right foot's flat on the ground again. And then drop your right knee towards the left. As far as it'll go, it's okay if those hips lift up. And now turn your skull in the pocket of your hands so you're looking over at the right elbow. And notice where gravity is working. And then notice in your body where you're working, perhaps unnecessarily. You can feel it in my left shoulder, in my neck. But there's some tightness there that's just, it's not needed. And let gravity hold my body. This is where you can get, as a matter of fact, with these sort of calmer yoga poses, a deeper experience of yoga. There's a deeper invitation to listen. And slowly turn your head back to center. Lift your right knee back up. You can change the cross of your fingers. And we'll go to the second side. Dropping the legs over to your right and turning your gaze to your left. Here again, we don't make any assumptions based on our memory of the previous side. Rather, practice yoga in this moment. Practice listening to your spine, shoulders, and hips in this pose. Bring the knees back up. You can release your hands. You're going to find your strap now. If you've got like a regular yoga strap, you'll fold it a couple times. I'm using a belt, which is plenty strong all on its own. And you're going to hold the strap or strap substitute shoulders distance apart above your shoulders. So your arms are like pillars. Your arms are like tree trunks. Squeeze the strap very tightly and pull the strap like you're trying to tear it apart. And as you pull on the strap, start to stretch your arms overhead behind you, opening the shoulder near your neck. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Good. Feel what the squeezing and pulling of the strap does. How does it affect the body? Keep pulling on the strap and bring it back above your head. And then rest the strap on your belly. Relax your hands calmly. Let the blood circulate through the joints. So some of these poses require some rigor, like squeezing and pulling on the strap. We practice it in a way that's steady and consistent, so we're not having more rigor in the pose at any part over the other. Let's do that same pose. We'll add to it this time. Hold that strap above your shoulders, pull on it. This time you're going to stretch your knuckles towards the sky. So your shoulder blades broaden on your back. When you're pulling the strap apart, send it over your head. Keep pulling on the strap. And now, try to broaden your shoulder blades away from your spine again, away from your ears. Lift up your right hand only, so you're still pulling on the strap. Back down. Lift up the left hand only. Keep pulling on the strap. Back down. Bring the strap back over the shoulders, overhead. And then rest the strap on your belly, rest your hands. You can leave that strap on your belly or just off to the side. We're going to use it again. Bring your legs, your knees and ankles to touch. Feet are on the floor. And then pull the right knee straight towards the chest. You can hold it over the top of the knee or behind the knee if you have knee pain. And rather than really pulling actively today, just let the weight of your hands draw the thigh towards your belly. So rather than think knee to chest, think thigh towards the belly. Keep your back relaxed. Good. Release that leg back to starting. Change the cross of your fingers, and let's do the same thing on the left leg. Remember, we're not pulling. There's a deeper expression of yoga going on. The mind can just bear witness. And from there, perhaps release unconscious tension that's being held. Improving circulation and rejuvenating the joints. Release that leg. Bring up the right leg again, and this time you're going to take your strap and you're going to place it over the ball of the foot and reach the leg into the sky. And we want to hold our strap as loose as we can, or I'm sorry, as far away as we can, where the arms are still straight, so no bent elbows. So you're reaching up on the strap as high as you can, so the elbows are perfectly straight. Even the shoulders are kind of lifting off the mat. Now we don't want to create too much burden in our hamstring just yet. You'll get there, don't worry. So actually back off, letting the leg kind of be a little more away from your body. Rather than getting in the hamstring just yet, let's get into the joint. So from here, pull on the strap so you can feel that your leg bone is being drawn straight into the hip joint, rather than creating a hamstring stretch just yet. Now, pull with the right hand a little more, so the pinky edge of your foot lowers. You can choke up on the strap now that you've been holding for a moment. Squeezing the strap very tightly is part of the practice, not wrapping the strap around your hands. Make sure your toes are pointed straight overhead and that they're not turned out. And if you'd like, keep pulling down on the strap, pulling in the leg towards your hip joint. And you can walk those hands up the strap now, any amount. Any amount. Keep pulling that pinky edge down. Make sure those toes don't turn out. As a matter of fact, actively turn your right leg bone inward so the toes point straight overhead. And let's release our leg to the earth. Relax your hands a moment. Try to be as passive and calm as possible. And when you're ready, you're going to take that strap and you're going to place it over the left ball of the foot. We're going to go to our second side. Remember, starting a little looser, so we're not in our hamstrings yet. Arms straight. Pull the leg bone into the hip joint. Believe that you can get better at it than you are currently engaging it. Believe that you can deepen your awareness of your body by being present for the sensation. Pull with the left hand to bring the left edge of the foot lower. Turn the left thigh bone in so the toes point straight overhead, not out to the side. And now keep all those things as you walk your hands up the straps, taking the pose as deep as you'd like without compromising the details. Remove the strap and release the leg to the earth. Just be calm a moment. Rejuvenate. Go ahead and place the strap on the arch of the right foot this time. Try to remember how to start small, how to start humbly, not overworking the hamstring, focusing on rooting into our hip joint, and pull on the pinky edge, building incredible detail. Rotate the femur inward so the toes point straight above, straight overhead. And this time, actively draw the toes back. Draw the toes, down towards your hip. Pull with that pinky edge again. And now pull your foot, pull the strap. So you're aiming your foot over your left shoulder. You're going to cross the midline. Notice how the pinky toe wants to turn out. Turn the thigh bone in to turn the heel out slightly. Listening, breathing, walking the hands up the strap if possible. Pull the leg straight across, out to the right. You can go out to the right any amount. I'm actually going to let go of the strap with my left hand, just holding with the right. Any amount without letting your left hip come up. The left hip should stay firmly in place. Draw back up. Release the strap. Release the leg to the floor. Rest your hands. Rest your nervous system. Okay, placing the strap over the arch of the left foot. Start humbly, start small. Pull the leg into the hip joint. Pull left edge lower than the right. Flex your toes towards the hip. Most important, or one of the most important, turn the left leg bone to the right so the toes aren't turning outward. And now pull the leg so the toes are heading over the right shoulder. They don't have to get there. You're just aiming there. Keep turning that left leg bone, turning that outer heel out. Breathe. Holding with just your left hand, place the right hand on the earth. Take the left leg out to the left any amount without letting your right hip come up. Move slow. The same amount of rigor, the entire posture. Inhale back up. Remove the strap. Relax your leg. You can extend the legs out a moment. Change the height of your prop under your head. Higher or lower is fine. Just change it up. And just rest a moment. Sometimes we need to be given permission to rest. We need to think we're coming to our normal mixed level yoga class, but stumble upon rest and rejuvenation. We need to be so tired out, we've got no other options. Perhaps now you can listen to yourself, to your body, and feel that it might be grateful for this calmer, slower, gentler practice. Bend the knees. And this time you're going to roll to your right side. I'm rolling to my right first so you can see in the camera more easily. And you'll stack your knees for a moment. So the left leg is on top, and you're going to take that left leg back and hold it, the ankle or the top of the foot. If you can't hold with your hand, you'll use that strap again. We just pause here and we just gently, we don't even really pull with our arm. The arm is straight. Just allowing that front quad to release and relax. That's just the front thigh. Listening to your knee joint. Open your throat a little bit and reach your tailbone down through your left knee. I guess it's really down through both knees. And then relax. Roll all the way to the left side. Stacking the knees. Bend the right knee more deeply and hold the ankle or foot, or use a strap loop. Keep your right arm straight. You want to be in the passivity of the pose. Just allow that right heel to move toward the outer right glute through releasing effort. Through releasing unconscious tension. Open the throat and send your tailbone gently down towards both knees. And relax. Give it a moment. We're going to roll to our first side again. We're going to either do the exact same pose or I'll give a more challenging variation. So starting simply, holding the left foot. Now the more challenging variation is just to gently pull back, drawing the knee back. And you keep doing this, you're still on your side until those left toes find the mat or find the floor. And what you'll do is you can just pause here, or you can feel like you kind of hooked your toes on the earth and let go with your left hand. So you can go all the way back to the starting pose of just holding the foot in the air. You can hold the foot on the earth. You can let go of the foot. And if we want to keep going, we slowly start to roll our chest back towards the ceiling, opening our shoulders. Good. Be careful with that knee. We're not trying to create new tension, but release unconscious tension we hold in our body. Only with a calm mind, only with a settled nervous system is this possible. You can build muscle to support tension patterns, but you can't release tension patterns without a calm nervous system. To come out of the pose, you're going to roll your shoulders back to the right, and that should very naturally just let you slide that left leg out. Try to stay as calm as you can as you shimmy yourself to the left side. And then hold your right foot. And let's give ourselves a moment. Be open to this knee, this foot might be in a different place than the first side. And you can start to draw back. As you draw back, maybe find the floor with those toes. Maybe let go with the right hand. Maybe roll your shoulders back open. These maybes are because they are a felt invitation by your body. They are not my instructions. They are invitations by your body. This keeps your nervous system calm. This keeps you in a place of feeling versus driving and doing. Roll back to your left side so you can release your right leg out long, nice and passive. And then place your hands on the floor and press yourself up to a comfortable seat. You're going to go find a wall if you can. I'm going to use these closet doors. Hopefully they're going to hold me up. And you're going to place your block or your bolster a few inches in front so that you can sit on your prop, and we want our hips up, and our whole back, the skull, all the way down to our hips, can very much be against the wall. Take a moment, find your station. So sitting up, my pelvis, my low back, my shoulders, and my skull. It's very funny, the knob is right where my neck is, so I don't have to actually feel the knob. And you're going to cross, you're going to sit cross-legged. Let's do our right leg in front first, your left of the mat. I'll do both. No, I'll mirror you. Let's do your left leg in front. Left leg in front. And you'll see here, I've created sort of a boxier shape where the knee and ankle are in alignment, and the knee and ankle are in alignment. So we can walk our feet across a little more, so it's a little bit, yeah, good, Kathy, exactly. Billy, you two, you're going to walk your, well, we want it too active there, Billy. Walk your ankles out in front, so your shins are not kind of, they're not supporting the weight of your knee. Yeah. My feet are very much on the ground, and my knees are very much above, and I'm just passively letting them drop. Yeah. Good, Jim. Walk your feet a little more forward and then across. Well, it's going to be very easy to sit here, very comfortable. That's it, out in front. So you're making like your shins should be parallel with like the edge of the mat or something. That's it. Okay, now start again. Hips, low back, shoulders, and skull against the wall. And just feel this is a straight spine. Try to relax your nervous system. Very slowly peel the skull off the wall. So it's like the forehead is dropping forward, keeping everything else on the wall. And take the tops of the shoulders. It's like you're just taking one vertebra of your spine off the wall at a time. You're not going forward, rather you're curling your spine off the wall. Keep your low back and your hips against the wall the whole time. Going inward. Now press, so we went from the top down, now from the bottom up. Bring those vertebrae back against the wall until you're vertical again. And now releasing all effort, drop the hands in front. If you need a prop, put your hands on a bolster, or just walk your hands forward any amount, just hanging your body. Your hands are very much, and arms very much supporting you. You're dropping forward. No pressure, no reaching. Just extend those arms and see how they hold you up. Keep the effort out of your spine. Walk the hands back in to bring your spine back up. Let's change the cross of our legs. So again, rather than pulling my ankles all the way in, for this, I want to have a looser, more broad base. I'm going to walk my ankles forward, and then I'm going to walk them across. So the shins are more out in front, my ankles are more out in front, my knees are a little more narrow than a normal seated posture. Place the hips, low back, shoulders, and skull against the wall. Now first pose is the peeling pose. So just take a moment to feel the vertical spine. And then one vertebra at a time. Top, about the middle of your mid back. Never letting the low back leave the wall. Go slow. Drop your mind inward, down into the pit of your belly. Drop your forehead, drop your shin, drop your sternum into your belly. Now slowly, the vertebrae that peeled off, working from the bottom up, bring them back against the wall. Slowly. Walk the hands forward and drop the body. Be as passive as possible. Held in the pose by gravity and the patterns of your muscles and bones. No will, no effort. Walk the hands back up. And let's take our legs out wide. So the heels are down. Low back. Actually, the whole spine is still against the wall. And you're going to activate your feet this time. Have the knees a little bent. Activate your feet means draw the toes back. And what happens, or what may often happen, is that the toes turn out from the hip joint. Turn so the toes point straight up. Be vigilant about this. Now line your spine up with the wall and keep the legs, the knee, the hip joint in alignment. And drop your hands forward. They can be on a prop, or they can walk forward any amount as you hang your spine. Be vigilant with your mind on your legs. There's plenty here, just this toe, knee, and hip alignment. Keep the legs active and walk the hands back up. Go ahead and find your strap. and wrap it around the ball of your right foot. They'll be mirroring you. Your strap is long enough that you can hold the strap and bring the spine back into vertical. And we're still keeping all those leg principles we just worked on, we just emphasized. And this might be our pose today. You can keep the spine straight. You can gently walk the hands down the strap. We're not rounding our spine here. We're keeping it vertical, or rather straight, even as it leaves the vertical. Right towards sending your heart and your nose out over the right foot. Now keep your left hip rooted. As we try to go deeper in the pose, as we try to put our will and effort into the pose, we end up unplugging from the side that we're moving away from. Inhale back up. Stay active in your feet. I know it's a long hold for your feet. Train your mind. Your muscles can hold it. Vertical spine first. Active legs. Train your mind. I'm aiming to my own right. I'm sorry, the strap is on our left leg now. To my own right leg. Turning out. And you're keeping the spine straight. Walk the hands down the leg. Active right hip. So the effort is in staying where you are rather than striving for something. Never keeping the right leg where it is. Inhale back up. Bend the knees. And walk the feet in. We get the feet flat on the floor. Relax your hip flexors. We're going to move this into a seated squat posture. So for some, we might feel this might be low enough. For myself, I'm going to remove my props, come away from the wall a little bit. I'm going to stack my blocks for a little more height. Stack the blocks. And you could even stack the blocks and add a pillow. So now my feet are very much underneath me, underneath my knees, and I'm still supported on my sit bones. Try to make the knee and the foot vertical, shin vertical. Palms together, knees over, elbows and knees touch. Okay, so walk those knees a little, feet and knees a little wider apart. So you see it's like a side of the wall, side of a house, sorry. Right, so the knees are not wider and they're not collapsing in. But some of us need to step our feet a little wider apart. Good. Now, from here, soften your back. Try not to let your shins move. You're just going to drop your knees inside and drop forward. Listening to your hips, listening to your back. Release your neck. If it's available, you can rest the hands on the mat, on the floor. And slowly bring the hands back up. Deep breath. And change this pose again. You can lean to one side and the other. You're going to take the knees in front, and the foot will be a little bit wider than the knee. So the toes point out on a diagonal. You're still on the top of the foot on both sides. This is Virasana. My knees are together, and my toes are wider than my hips. My heels are wider than my hips. And some of us might not need any support here. We can take a block or take both blocks away and actually sit in between our heels. I will be sitting on some blocks. You want to do what's appropriate for your ankles and knees. And you focus on, if you're near the wall, you can go back to it. Otherwise, just focus on remembering what the wall was like. Aligning your hips, low back, ribs and shoulders, and skull perfectly in the vertical. Turn your palms to face up, like you're holding a tray. And now keeping the elbows against your ribs, slowly slide your thumbs apart. So my one teacher used to call these how wonderful arms. How wonderful. Feeling those shoulder blades draw off the ears, down the back. Trying to keep your palms facing perfectly up. Forearms are parallel with the floor. Good. Lift your crown. We want to look straight ahead. That's it. Breathe. From here, you're going to interlock your fingers and point the palms straight away from you, out from your heart. If you can, make your elbows straight. Interlock your fingers and you're pointing the hand straight out from your chest. Uh-oh, you all frozen? Hope not. There it is. And now slowly lift your arms up. Notice how the shoulders want to lift up here. Keep those shoulders heavy. Keep those shoulders against that wall, imaginary wall. And it's like you're trying to get the pinky edge of the hand against that wall as well, without letting any other part of your body come off the wall. Right? So you can sometimes feel our low back likes to arch as we lift our arms up. Good. Let's come back down in front. Rest the palms in the lap. And then we're going to go back to the same thing. Hold the tray. And slowly keep the forearms parallel with the ground as you open them out. Feeling the shoulder blades move off the ears. Keeping your spine in the vertical. Breathe here. Come back in front, interlock the fingers, maybe change the interlocking if you can remember it, and reach the hand straight forward. Now remember to try to keep the spine, the low back, in the vertical as you lift the arms up. Keep the shoulders down, off the ears. These key details are what allow the muscles and bones to find a deeper sense of calm, that we're not finding the postures from our normal habits and tension patterns, but a more natural, easeful, carrying posture. You drop the arms wide. Very slowly start to drape the body forward. You can let those hands go out in front, any amount, and hang your spine from it. Good. From here, let's lay on our bellies. Probably use one block at the front edge of the mat. Good. Laying on our belly. Have that block out in front. You're going to hold the sides of the block. And be comfortable enough that you can rest, or see if you can find a way to rest your forehead on the mat without crushing your nose. And just take in this posture a moment. As you do that, see if you can slide the hands holding the block and slide the toenails further away from each other. So you're just growing your body in this spinal alignment. And you feel the unconscious holdings in the spine, in the back, one side versus the other. If it's available to you, lift your arms up any amount, keeping the forehead on the mat. Keep your elbows straight and breathe. Steady awareness. And lower the block down. Good. This time, lift the legs up any amount, keeping the legs straight, keeping the forehead down, and keep the block down, the hands down, just lift the legs. And breathe here. Notice if the pinky toes try to lift faster than the big toes, and correct that. To be even. And lower back down. Good. Now, lift your arms up without the block, almost like you're resting your hands on top of the block. And I'll do my best to describe, but you might need to just watch for the first round. You're going to lift the arms up and then pull them back, pull them down, elbows pulled down. Then you're going to take the fingertips and go under, keeping them off the ground, and reach them back. So my palms are face up. My forehead stays on the mat the whole time without crushing the nose. Bend the elbows again and pull the wrists under, back to the cactus arms, and then reach forward over that block. You try. Hands start hovering above the block. Forehead's on the mat. Now bend the elbows by your side. Hover, hover. Let's try to stay the same height. Now curl the fingertips and follow them back behind you so the palms are up and the arms are straight. Good, that's great. Now bend the elbows again. Follow the wrist back towards the block in front. You feel how engaging this is on your shoulder, how insulating it is on the shoulder blade. We're going to do 10 of these together. Go at your own pace, but the person who finishes last, they win the best benefit. Breathe and focus on your body. Keep going. Watching you, Billy. Let's try 2 more. Really focus. Slow. And then rest. Very good. Bring the block closer to you and hold the sides of it for Sphinx Pose. So the elbows will be under your shoulders. Work on letting your pubic bone, the pelvis, just relax into the mat. Send your toes straight back. Now gently press down. And you can hold the block on the sides. You can actually take your index and your thumb, which is kind of like an L shape, and frame the bottom edge of the block, the bottom corner of the block, so your palms are flat. This is a little more advanced, but you get some good pronation here. You're going to press down with your palms that way and rise your crown. Root your shoulder blades through your elbows and palms. Breathing in Sphinx. Good. Push the block away. Place the hands down. We'll do a downward facing dog pose. Really, maybe just skip it. Do a puppy pose or something like that. Or so you don't have to get up. You want to stay on our mat, stay mellow. Just a mellow downward facing dog. And bring the right knee forward for pigeon posture. Walk your left leg back. Keep your hips square. Take a moment just to root down, root your shoulder blades down through your palms, and lift your crown. Feel the belly muscles drawing in to your low back and up your spine. You can stay here or come down to the forearms. That same arms as Sphinx. Sphinx pose or in pigeon or cobra pose in pigeon. Breathe. Change the legs when you're ready. You can change through down dog or any other pose that feels right to you. Keep a calm nervous system. Stay in a deeply felt experience. Point the toes back. Take a moment to enjoy the Cobra version. You can stay here or go to the Sphinx version. We'll roll to our side and then roll to our backs. We'll do a gentle back bend variation. So maybe you'll want your bolster or a pillow. I'm going to start with a block under my pelvis and actually start at the same height under the head. So we want a more passive, not very high. So the head and the hips can both be elevated, ribs hanging. You're welcome to keep the feet flat on the floor. And if it's available, then extend the legs out. And I would almost even encourage you to choose a height so that you can, in fact, extend your legs out. So we allow that front hip flexor to just release. It'll be long here. And we want to make sure that the prop is under our bones of our hips. So much so that we actually kind of feel like the low back is kind of like hanging like a hammock. I know it's a little weird to think about, but you just allow your belly muscles to kind of soften. You want to make your lumbar, your low back, as relaxed as possible. Too much height, it'll grip. Breathe here, close your eyes. Try to just let your breath be soft, deep. Feel all the muscles around your low spine relaxing, releasing tension. Resting. It's available, you can extend the arms behind you overhead. Make sure it's not too much on your shoulders. The body tightens up. This takes us in the opposite direction of how we've been working. Keep it calm. Gravity is the teacher. Gravity is the active force. You are a passive listener. you're ready, you can bend your knees and bring your knees up so your feet are floating in the air. Don't pull on them, just let them float in the air. Feel. Remove your prop from your hips and remove or lower the prop from your head. And consider today actually placing a prop under your thigh bones as you slide the legs out under the thigh bones. Make sure that you're calm. Make sure that your body is extremely comfortable. Keep letting gravity be the teacher. As a yogi, just be a deep, deep listener until you forget what you're even listening to.
Stretch your body. Take a comfortable seat. Thanks for practicing. Namaste. I'm going to say some goodbyes. I hope you enjoyed our deviation from our regularly scheduled program. I think we'll be back to normal next week.